Recording. Welcome everyone to today's lesson. We're going to be chatting about how to make the most out of your workouts when it comes to high intensity and low intensity and what exactly that means over here. So just a few things. I'm going to start myself and then Britlin. We did both of us make a presentation just because it's a little bit easier to follow along that way. Actually, it's easier for myself because ADHD, my brain goes all over the place. So I jump from topic to topic. So hopefully this will keep us a little bit more on track. So with that being said, let's start the presentation over here. Perfect. We are in Canva. Let me move this a little bit to the side. All right.
Cool.
Perfect. Okay, so do I make this smaller now? There we go. Fantastic. All right, so how to get the most out of your workouts, high intensity. Like I said, I will start and then we'll start. There's a few things. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the mindset. And yes, you're going to be seeing samurai animals on the side over there because we got sidetracked and there was a AI tool inside Canva.
You
So
got sidetracked.
I got sidetracked and
I just joined in.
so yeah, you'll see some nice samurai animals on the side over there. But first is the mindset, okay? It's very, very important to have the proper mindset before you go into the gym because that's what's going to dictate whether you're gonna have a good workout or not. Even for myself, many times it's happened before when I'm like, oh man, I'm just so tired. This has happened, and then I go in, and because of my mindset, I do indeed have a terrible workout. So mindset is everything before going to the gym. You need to get you need to get into the appropriate workout for mindset for the workout. You can't just go into the gym and be like, oh man, I'm so tired, and I still have to work out. If you preset your brain to think that way before you go to the gym, guess what? You might have a tough workout. Go in with the intention that you are going to have an amazing workout and you will do your absolute best no matter how you're feeling. It's very important to have that mindset. Okay. So that's the first thing over here. Okay. Time your workouts. Most of you will have, well, I hope all of you will have timed sets in between your workouts. So it tells you how much your break should be. So make sure you follow that along. A lot of times, and he's not here right now, but Mitch does it all the time. Gets distracted by, oh, I saw Stacy, I saw somebody, and you get distracted and you're talking, and then your break goes to 5 minutes. That is not very beneficial. So making sure you stay on top of actually timing your breaks and staying true to that. Obviously, sometimes, hey, you're gonna need another 30 seconds because you're dying or whatever, but and that's completely fine. But if you're taking 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes breaks, then it's just your heart rate is gonna get too low, and it's just not as beneficial. You won't be burning as many calories. Not that the goal of the workout is to just burn calories, but it will just be a lot more effective when it comes to fat loss, even muscle gain. It's still okay. Okay, so use the recommended time set by us. Okay, and stop getting distracted by everything and everyone. Stick to the plan. If you somehow we didn't put a timer in, usually the general rule you want to have between 60 to 90 seconds breaks in between sets. If you have, for example, a circuit which is like 3, 4 exercises more, then it's okay to take a little bit longer break. We usually recommend you can take 30 seconds less than 60 or 30 seconds more than 90. So that's kind of the range where you want to be over there. You can do 30 seconds, dropping down your rest in between sets will help you out if you have a busy day. If you have a busy day and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna do what I can, get my breaks down a little bit, have less time in between, and then you're gonna have, instead of having 45 minutes in a workout, that workout might even go down to 35 minutes. So it's gonna help you with that. Keep in mind, of course, your heart rate will be a lot more elevated, but time rest, that's how you can control that. Going into the next thing over here, don't be scared to lift heavy weights. This is very important, especially for women as well. Do not think that you're gonna lift weights and you're gonna wake up Arnold Schwarzenegger the next day. It doesn't happen like that, right? It takes a very long time. I've been training for 10 years and I'm still working on putting on muscle. So it's a process. It's a process. So but lifting heavy, what's gonna happen? You're gonna get stronger. You're gonna get stronger. So that's why. Just because you're lifting heavy doesn't mean you're necessarily putting on muscle. There needs to be other things that help with that. But lifting heavy will indeed make you stronger, and you will build bone density. Now, the older you are getting, the more important it is to build strong bones. We all know it. I'm gonna use my grandpa as an example. My grandpa, at 75 years old, he had very low bone density, just very bad diets and everything, just old school. He went up to split just a small piece of wood and broke his collarbone by raising his arms, just his arm up in the air. So it's very important to make sure you strength train and you lift heavy weights to build the strong bones. Okay. And you always want to be, oh, we got just pulling through. There we go. You always want to be curious what you can to find out about what you can do and what you're capable of. And you'll find that most of the time you'll be a lot more capable to do than what you think you are. So it's very important to just test yourself a little bit and not be scared to, make sure you're not always going for those same weights. You're always just, even if on the weekly basis, if you lift 2.5 pounds more than you did the previous week, that's going to help you out big time in the end. So it's very, very important. Okay. How we doing? Following along? Everyone's still here? Let's see how we're doing in the chat over here. Perfect. Everyone's in. Cool. Okay. So lift heavy weights, extremely important. Again, we don't expect that you're going to start lifting, crazy amounts of weights over time. But if you have those small increments and you're just trying to push yourself a little bit more each week, you're going to have some amazing results. And feeling strong, there's nothing better than feeling strong, right? So when you, the biggest thing I always mention to my clients is confidence, yes, comes from your looks. It's like, okay, I look a certain way, I'm feeling a certain way, but a lot of my confidence came from me having the confidence in my abilities to perform. So that's what's really pushing me to go back to the gym. It's like, hey, can I lift this heavy weight? Because sometimes in my head, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And then it's just like a battle. And then I kind of like prove myself wrong. And that's how I build a lot of the confidence that I have, is through knowing what I'm actually capable of when it comes to things like this. Next thing. Okay. Exercise intensifiers. Okay, so there's a few things that actually there's quite a few ways you can intensify your workouts, but we're gonna keep it a little bit more mild because we can go really extreme and just have some intense working sets. But there's no need for that in this program, because we're not gonna be going that insane. You want to be most likely be training with an in-person trainer if you are doing such high intensity. But with these, I chose 3 of the things that you can do to really get the most out of your workouts. Okay, so the first and the easiest thing that you can do right away is simply tense up your core more as you do the exercises. As simple as it sounds, most people don't engage their core unless doing core exercises. So what I mean by that is, when you do a bicep curl, your midsection is tense. When you do a pull down, your midsection is tense. When you do a chest press, no matter what exercise you do, you tense up your core. Just by doing that, you're engaging more muscles in the body, which will increase, it's not crazy difference in the caloric burn, but it will engage your muscles more, which will increase your heart rate even more, because more muscles tense up and more effort is being done. So I want to make sure, no matter what exercise you do, that midsection is as tight as possible, especially when you're doing things like squats, deadlifts, bench press, anything that you're bent over, like a bent over row. You need to always be mindful of the core. Before you start your exercise, think, okay, am I in the right position? Perfect. Is my midsection tense? Can I feel my core? Are my obliques tense? Is everything kind of feeling like is tight around my torso? Very important. Now, drop sets. Next thing over here. Some of you might already know, because we've given out drop sets to quite a few clients. So what you want to be doing on drop set, this is for the last set of an exercise. Let's say you are doing shoulder press, dumbbell shoulder press. We got my last set. I'm doing 50-pound dumbbells. I get to 10 reps. What you want to do, it's like, even if we don't prescribe it to you, you are more than welcome to do something like this, because I've said this many times before. The days that you feel 80%, you want to give 100%. The days that you feel 100%, you want to give 120%. So that's kind of like how you keep yourself at 100% all the time when it comes to your workouts. So when you feel good and you're like, man, I could do just a little bit more, put a drop set in. It's not a problem. It's like, hey, you're like, I do it all the time. But sometimes I'm feeling a little bit stronger. Sometimes I'm not feeling as strong. So I won't put something like this in. But those days that I'm feeling like, oh yeah, I can push really hard this workout, then I add something like a drop set. So what you want to do is on your last set, let's say you get to 10 reps, and then you drop it by 30 to 40%. You drop the weight down, and then you continue doing the shoulder press until you can't do anymore. You can also do a second drop. This becomes even more intense. That is absolutely not necessary to do. It's just a little bit too much volume for most people. But doing one drop at the end, it's perfect. Don't do it in the beginning, do it at the end. The next thing is active rest over here. Okay, so active rest is the last thing that we're going to talk about when it comes to high intensity. So active rest, this is one of my favorite ways to burn extra calories. This is going to be all for extra caloric burn, but also if you are pressed for time as well. Okay, so this is great if you don't have much time, but still want to get a good sweat on. Instead of chilling in between sets, do some sort of movement like jumping jacks to keep your heart rate elevated. So that's the whole thing, right? So another way you can do it is, well, obviously, like there's many exercises you can do. You can hop on a treadmill, but you don't want to be doing bench press and then walk to the treadmill and then do a little walk on there. So do something that's just on the side. Maybe instead of doing jumping jacks, instead of taking the 1.5 minute break, you're doing crunches. You're holding a plank. You're doing burpees for whoever is enthusiastic enough about doing burpees in between sets, or whatever exercise that you want to be doing that just keeps your body moving. It can be as simple as just doing hopping off your toes, just doing toe hops. It's as simple as that. The goal is to keep you moving and keeping that heart rate elevated. And then at the end of the workout, even if you cut your workout down, let's say you can't get all the exercises, that's completely fine. But do the most with what you have. And one thing that I always hear people say is do more with less. So if you have less time, add a little bit more intensity into your workout, and that's how you're gonna still have a fantastic workout at the end of the day. So yeah, those are kind of my points over here that I wanted to make. Let's see. Do you guys have any questions so far?
Also, by the way, Rob, you can probably just keep this on the screen.
And scroll, yeah, and just
Yeah,
next,
yeah, yeah.
next, yeah.
Rather than making it more complicated.
Whoops. Okay, guys. So yeah, so that's all kind of the things that I wanted to touch up on. Um, Workouts, you can make them as intense or as easy as possible. I can give you, again, I'm gonna use Mitch. I hope he watches this because I use him a lot. I use Mitch a lot. So I worked out with him a few weeks ago, and we did the exact same workout. We did the exact same workout that he had on the app, but I did it with him. We followed everything exactly the same. He said the workout was 10 times harder, but I didn't do anything special. I just followed exactly, but it was all the breaks were time. Everything was done how it's supposed to be done. And the workout was 10 times harder. So again, you can make it as easy or as hard. So when you're feeling good, push to 110%. And I promise you're going to feel fucking 10 out of 10 at the end of that workout. That's all. All right, Coach Bryn.
Okay, low intensity. So obviously going at a high intensity for most of the time is really, really good. However, we can't do that 24/7. So it is crucial that we listen to our bodies and understand that we can't go at super high intensities all the time. And this is especially true for women because we have a menstrual cycle, and sometimes that can alter your energy levels. So it also depends on where you're at in your menstrual cycle. And obviously, like it's going to affect everybody differently. So if you're on your period and you feel really, really sluggish, that might be a really great opportunity to lower the intensity in your workouts and listen to your body. Because the last thing you want to do is push your body when it doesn't need to be pushed, because that can end, or sorry, because that can end up in injuries or something worse. Who knows? But like for example, I have some clients that when they're on their periods, they almost have to take the week off and just like focus on walking. I have some clients that when they're on their periods and they feel completely fine and they can go through their program as is. So it all just depends on you and what your body needs. Um, can you stop moving the cursor?
Sorry,
um, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I forgot
For
that you.
menstrual cycles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and for men, obviously, this is different. You guys don't have menstrual cycles. However, it's still really, really important to listen to your body. And if you're having a week where you're feeling like extremely low energy, like motivation is like pretty much a zero, everything hurts, maybe stress is really, really high, that would be a really great time to lower the intensity in your workouts. So it's super important to honor that signal from your body and focus on something else rather than how much weight you can lift. Also, a really good idea if you are super duper stressed, like if you're under like a high amount of mental stress, trying to hit PRs in the gym is probably not a good idea because that also puts stress on the central nervous system. And so when stress is really high, obviously your central nervous system is going to be like going crazy. So we want to make sure that we really listen to our bodies and go low intensity when we need to. Okay, you can go to the next slide. Okay, so what do you do when you want to do low intensity is you do a deload week. So deload week essentially just means you're dropping the intensity in your workouts for a week. It doesn't have to be just a week and it can be for as long as you need to, but typically I find a week works really, really well for a deload. So this can help you get over plateaus. So if you're finding that you are not making any more progress and you've been going at a high intensity all the time, that might be a really great time to take a deload week. And so when should you take a deload week? Well, it depends. So you can follow like a structured plan for a deload week. Like you can go high intensity for like 6 to 10 weeks and then do a deload week. But I like to do it a little bit more intuitively. So um, if I feel like my body just can't handle super heavy loads, I am going to do a deload week and focus on other ways of getting exercise in, or I'm going to go really, really light on my weights. Okay, next slide. Okay, so here is how you are going to get the most out of your workouts when you are doing low intensity. So one of them is mind muscle connection, which essentially just means you are feeling the muscle that you are working on. Like you're literally thinking about the muscle that you're working on. So for example, if you're doing a lat pull down, rather than just like going through the motions or going super duper heavy where you're probably not really thinking about the muscle that you're working on, drop the weight and then really just focus on feeling the muscles. Sometimes I like to close my eyes when I do this because I find that works really, really well. So close your eyes, think about the muscle, and then do a pause. So hold that tension for just a little bit and then nice and slow as you go back up. So when you do pauses like that, it's really going to help your mind muscle connection because it's going to recruit more muscle fibers, which means it's actually really good for hypertrophy, which means growth of the muscle. You want to make it bigger. Next thing is balance and stability. So do more unilateral work, which essentially means just single leg, single arm. I like to do single leg exercises with my shoes off most of the time because I find that really helps me with my balance and stability. So for example, what you could do is a body weight walking lunge and then go really, really slow, focus on your feet for balance and stability and just keeping your hips in place. I think I did that like maybe 2 weeks ago. For the past couple of weeks, I've been going at a little bit lower intensity just because I feel like that's just what my body needs right now. And so I'm going to listen to it. Obviously, like lifting heavy is really, really nice. But what I found is, and especially for women, like when you go at high intensities all the time, there's going to be a point where your body's just like, I can't do this anymore. So it's really important to listen to that. Form and technique is another one. So let's use the squat, for example. On days where I feel like I can't squat very heavy, I'm going to work on my form and technique. So I'm going to keep the weights really, really light and just focus on making it feel really, really good and just making sure that it looks 10 out of 10. I think I also did that last week. I think so. My most for squats is 215. And sometimes when I squat 135, it feels like 1,000 pounds. So it just depends on the day. And what, Rob?
No, that's why it's so important with form and technique. It's very important to take videos of yourself once in a while. Put the
Yeah,
phone
yeah,
down
yeah.
and
Yeah,
like, hey,
exactly.
let me look. Does this look anywhere close to what the video is showing me? Put
Yeah.
yourself and then just look at yourself doing it because it's hard sometimes, right? So it's a good tool.
Yes. And you guys are more than welcome to take videos of you doing an exercise and then send it to us so we can make sure that everything looks really, really good.
Please send us videos because we love going over form.
Yes, we do. Your weaker muscles. So a really good one for this is your hip flexors. So hip flexors on pretty much everybody are super tight and weak. Those kind of go hand in hand. So this would be a really great opportunity to just focus on those muscles that you don't normally work on. So such as like your hip flexors, maybe your trap three, so like your posture muscles, um, and then maybe like your rotator cuff, like all those like little stabilizers that kind of get forgotten about. And then last one is focus on a different type of way to get exercise in. So I'll use Naz as an example. The week of Christmas, we took a deload week and we just focused on walking. She played some badminton. You can do whatever kind of sport that you like to do. You can do yoga, whatever it is that can get your body moving during a deload week is perfect. No worries, Derek. See you later, dude. But yeah, that is how you get the most out of low intensity. So you're muted.
That was great, Coach Bryn. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. That was awesome. Okay, do you guys have any questions about anything that we just talked? Does it all make sense? If it makes sense, say yes in the comments, and we'll be moving on over here.
I'm just reading your comment here, Chazad, and
Oh,
yeah, so it's super, super normal for women's strength to fluctuate all the time. Like I'll have weeks where like I feel like a fucking beast, and then like the next week I'm like I can lift like half the weight. I'm like, what the hell happened? And slowly I'm kind of realizing that like, well, now I've realized it, that you just can't go at a super high intensity all the time, and especially like during your menstrual cycle it'll probably affect it.
yeah.
But like I said, it just depends on
Here's the thing
who.
with strength. Here's the thing with strength. Strength is so it can be so up and down. There's so many things that affect strength. I'm gonna tell you the top three things, just a quick extra bonus tips over here. Top three things that will affect strength if you have ups and downs all the time. We've worked in person as in-person trainers. I've worked for about 6 years. So there was always the same thing. Uh, Lack of hydration the day before, a lack of sleep the day before, and a lack of not getting great nutrition in the day before. So those are the first three things. So sleep is now number one is hydration. You want to make sure you're hydrated if you want to have a good strength. And then the next thing is sleep. Sleep is the next thing for strength. And then of course, having good nutritious food the day before. Super, super important.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, go to bed. What is it's man, buddy's in Scotland right now and is joining us at what 6 p.m. What time is it, Cesar? All right, my man. So if you guys have no other questions, that will conclude our training for today. Again, just like I'm gonna add a little bit. It's 1:30.
Oh my
Go to
God.
bed. Go to bed.
38.
Go to bed.
Go to
Go to
bed.
bed. Go to bed. But yeah, so if you guys are struggling with your form and you want help with that, simply put the phone down that it's a nice angle. You can actually see it, you know, a good representation of what you're doing. Send it over. We will dissect it and tell you exactly what you need to fix super quick. We have lots of experience when it comes to that. So use the tools that we have provided for you to make the most out of this. But that's all for now. Thank you guys for joining us again. We will see you again next Wednesday, same time, same place. If you guys want to take a quick screenshot of the screen, saying just tagging us and saying that you're learning a lot from us on the socials, that would be really appreciated. Oh, look at that. Wow, confetti. Cool. But other than that, guys, I will see you again. I will see you again next Wednesday. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Whoops. There we go.